Hello, welcome to another episode of Eat This, Drink That. We are doing another how-to on cocktails. We got Ali Khan here. My name's Ryan, and Steve Greer is going to lead the way. Steve, what is your drink that for today, you muddling maniac?
So we're adding some new things to the program. This is a Caipirinha. This is the cocktail of Brazil. I think it was invented somewhere in the 20s, but we're adding muddling. So now we're going to start muddling instead of juicing. But we're adding Brazil's version of rum called Cachaça. It is made from, and I got a really cool cachaça. It used to be there was like one cachaça on the market. Now there's multiple. This is still only
Okay.
$30 or $35. Agua Viva cachaça, 84 proof. Really, so they use sugarcane juice to start the process of making rum. So it is grassier. So this is more like a Martinique agricole style rum. Caipirinhas are super simple. We're back. We're in the 3 ingredient area. So this is actually it's 4 because I'm using a little bit of fine sugar. Cachaça, 2 ounces.
Oh God,
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. One lime, which I have already pre-quartered. So we're getting all the stuff from the lime into this cocktail because we're going to muddle. We're adding a teaspoon of fine sugar just to help with the extraction, but I don't want particles in my drink. I hate pulp, by the way. So I strain all my cocktails. And I also don't want crystals of sugar in my drink too. So I'm using a super fine sugar. And then 3/4 ounces of simple syrup. It's super easy. We're going to muddle.
Again with the
This is so pure. So I think on a previous few episodes, actually, because we've been diving into rum now for a little while, we've talked about the different styles, the different countries, and Cuba being over, on the clean. And this is close to Cuba and in between maybe Cuba and the grassiness of Martinique. This is a really pretty cachaça. First time using this. I went shopping locally in Denver, went to a kind of uber hipster natural wine, cool wine and spirit store, and they had this. I won't lie, I called around a bunch of stores to see who had cachaça. It's not something people just keep on the shelves and sell a ton of.
It's not that
So anyway,
common.
we're going to muddle. So I'm just using a shaker. And like I said, I am a texture person when I'm drinking. I don't want pulp. I don't want, like with anything where you're adding mint leaves, I don't want mint leaves coming through my drink. I like the flavor the mint provided, but I want them out of there. I don't want crystals of sugar in my cocktail either. So I'm only using half a teaspoon of sugar. It's not much. I already have it preloaded in my shaker. So I'm using the limes and then the sugar.
So the sugar's in there, the limes are in there.
And that's it. I could add the simple syrup for a little bit of juice to help. So only 3/4 of an ounce. I have it preloaded in my fun little
This
squeeze
is pretty
bottles.
sweet for you. Simple syrup
This
and
is-
sugar.
Yeah. This is a little sweeter. That's why I'm only using a half a teaspoon. I think there's people out there that probably use a tablespoon of sugar, but at least a teaspoon. And I'm only using 3/4 ounces of simple syrup, where some recipes might call for an ounce. And while we're talking, let's talk about rum. And I'm just going to muddle while we're talking. Yeah. So basically, you're just taking my little muddler. Just has some prongs on the underside. You can use a metal one. You can use a wood one. I just happen to have a wood one. There's also a smasher version on your bar spoon. I don't really like this for muddling. I want those little hammers at the
A
bottom.
little more Okay.
Yeah. And basically,
How
you're
long do you have to
juicing,
do this for?
huh? Well, until all the limes are
How long
pretty
do you
much.
have to do?
I mean, when you're looking in there, when the limes are all smashed up and then go a little bit longer. So per
Okay.
lime, you usually get 3/4 of an ounce to an ounce of juice, depending on the size of the lime. So that's basically what you're adding.
Mhm.
There are versions of making these cocktails where you just dump this whole thing in glass with the limes and everything. I don't like that. Um, I want a little more clean, like the daiquiri we did on the last episode. You guys commented about how crystal clean that cocktail looked. That's what I like.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
all the flavors coming from this lime. I just don't want pulp and lime, skin and all that coming through.
Can't you just use the juice? Why are you muddling the actual like wedges in this
So
instance?
there's the essential oils on the skin. Some of the pith is coming out.
Mm,
You're getting more flavor
okay.
than just juice.
Okay.
Juice. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
I
Okay.
think this is the first drink we've muddled.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
first
This is
in a
the first.
muddling.
Hard to believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
All
muddling.
right.
Okay.
We'll have another drink coming up down the road that'll have a muddler too. So
Uh-oh.
we already
Really
have,
road.
yeah, we already have our simple syrup, our sugar, and lime juice. Now I want to throw in both my shaker ice, and it's basically the same. So here's my shaker ice, that's going in. And then I'm going to prep my glass for the drink, just a rocks glass, an old fashioned. Put that in there. I don't want
Okay.
over dilution, so I'm not using, I bet there's recipes that call for crushed ice, probably shaved ice. There's all kinds. I want mine very little dilution while I'm drinking, because your hand's going to warm everything up. Now let's add our 2 ounces of cachaça, and then we're going to shake because it has citrus. So we normally shake with citrus for texture, temperature, dilution. I'm using 2
Mhm.
ounces. And if you really like cachaça, after you taste it, and remember, always taste what you're using beforehand. You can always add a little bit more if you want. My old fashioned glass that I own are a little bigger, so this can actually take a little more liquid. Then we'll put our little tin
Did you say
together.
what proof did you say? What proof did you say the liquor was?
86.
What proof
So
is it?
this is 40.
86.
Yeah, yeah.
43 or something.
No,
Okay.
hold on.
Gotcha.
It's 84. Sorry, it's 42 proof. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
42% alcohol, 84 proof. So just over what, most things are around 40%. And remember, we're going to do 30 seconds. I'm using a Parisian shaker that already has the strainer here. So the only thing that's going to be coming out is our beautiful cocktail.
Okay.
It's so much more muffled because of the lime, actual
Right.
the fruits in there. You
Yep.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can
Not like
also
click, 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 click.
you can feel the outside of the glass or the outside of the shaker when you're starting to feel how cold it is. That's probably enough shaking. 30 seconds is just like a nice round number for people to remember. So you're gonna get some of that lime coming through. Even though we're
Dang.
straining, you're still going to get a little bit of that pith and skin
A
and
little bit.
pulp.
Yeah, I
And
was curious if you were going to
um,
strain it
but look at that.
into a strainer.
Now
Dang.
I
Hmm.
It
can.
looks kind of like the daiquiri you made. Looks
Yes,
daiquiri-ish esque.
you can also strain
Yeah.
into a strainer if you want it even
That's what I thought you were
more
going to maybe do.
clean. Yeah, you can do
Yeah.
that if you want. And
Yeah.
remember, I think we talked about it before. I don't like adding more ingredients to a cocktail that I just created. So I'm not using a lime wedge. I'm just going to use a garnish of lime twist. That is the cocktail, gentlemen.
Oh. All of these appear to be
Mm,
margarita, but nay, they are not. They are something
something
a
else.
little further southern. A
Now
little
remember, we
southern.
used
Where-
one whole lime. So we probably got We'll call it close to an ounce. This is more citrus forward now. It's a little sweeter too, and then you get all the grassy notes coming through from the cachaça. But like with the daiquiri in the previous episode, the spirit came forward first, then the other ingredients. The citrus is taking the lead, then the cachaça.
Interesting. And not
Now,
the sugar. There's not enough sugar for that to take the lead.
no, I mean, it's definitely sweeter.
Depending on
It's
recipe.
sweeter than the daiquiri. But it is
Okay,
not
gotcha.
sugar. It's not syrupy sweet because we still have all these fresh ingredients that we're using, the fresh lime juice.
Right.
Um,
I
so,
guess that's the muddling is making the
yeah.
citrus jump out. Yeah.
So I
Gotcha.
came prepared this week.
This and the daiquiri remind me of. I'm sure you guys have had this. Have you ever been to a restaurant and they just go, "Oh, we have limeade," which is like. That's when you're saying I'm very serious about lemonade. You know what I mean? Because you can't buy limeade pre-made. You know what I mean? You have to make it. The first time I ever had limeade, it was a very hot day in Atlanta. I was at the Little Five Points, which is a kind of a hip neighborhood in Atlanta. I mean, this is from 1998, and I had some jerk chicken. And I remember I had limeade, and I love jerk chicken. The jerk chicken was almost as good as a limeade. I just think about that drink, and I'm thinking about this cocktail, and I do wonder, Crosby, what would you want to eat? I mean, we've been experiencing Greer's tropical rum limeness with just a deft hand of sweetness, but it is kind of the triple threat cocktail of citrus tang and then sugar sweet and rum. What do you want to eat with this?
I mean, I'm thinking Brazilian food. I'm thinking of grilled meat so
Churrasco,
far.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I'm
bring it
thinking of
on.
that's my first thought. I'm sure seafood would be a cool option, but I'm thinking of a greasy meat dish. But what do I
Yeah,
know?
yeah. No, no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you want. It's what you want. Greer, what do people eat with this thing?
So I came prepared this time. One of my favorite cookbooks is Moosewood. This is Sundays at the Moosewood. Moosewood is that restaurant up in
What the
Ithaca.
hell are you talking about? How
Yeah,
is that being Moosewood?
yeah.
Oh my God! What is
Moosewood
this?
Restaurant's the restaurant in Ithaca, New York. It's like I don't know how long it's been there. Probably the 70s. I got a few of their
Okay.
cookbooks. I love them, but this just happens to be their recipes that they would cook for people on Sundays for Sunday supper. Blah blah blah. But it's from all around the world. So I have to say one thing. I think I've probably said it before. I hate the word ethnic when talking about regional foods from around the world.
Right.
They use that. I hate that word.
Okay.
But anyway, so
Fair enough.
Africa, south of the Sahara, Armenia, British Isles, Caribbean, Chile, China, Eastern Europe, Finland, India, Italy, Japan, Jewish, Mexico, New England, North Africa, Provence, South Asia, and southern United States. So for fun, I picked out a few that I think would go really well with this. And it's some of the recipes that I like eating. There's a from South Africa, south of the Sahara, Singales seafood stew. So any sort of
Wow.
seafood
I was
stew
gonna say
would
seafood
be
stew.
holy
Nice.
crap. Now remember, this is sweeter than the daiquiri. Probably not as sweet as some of the tiki drinks that we made before, but sweetness always goes with spice. So you can do some spicy foods. So the other one is a North African
American
dish. These
seafood.
were my favorite dishes to cook out of this cookbook. It's Moroccan stew, a vegetable tagine. So a little spicier.
Mm,
Then
wow.
this is from the Caribbean, and I'm going to butcher this pronunciation probably. Escoviche de pescado. So this is like swordfish or snapper, yellowtail, And then the spices you go into, actually, no spice. This is pretty straightforward. Bell pepper and onions. You have your nice base for the broth, olive oil, vinegar, and then an olive tapenade on this. That would be delicious with this dish or with this drink.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
So I think you said it in a previous episode, Ali. Think running around the equator. These are tropical drinks. These are drinks where you drink when
Right.
it's hot. So recipes from around the tropics. And then Southeast Asia and these. That's why that Don the Beachcomber restaurant with tiki drinks. I think his whole menu. I saw one of the old menus. It's all Chinese food. So really spicy
Yeah.
foods and some of these drinks go really well together. I love Vietnamese food because of how clean and fresh and bright the ingredients are. This with
He
Vietnamese
used a lot
dishes,
of lime.
yeah,
Yeah, he
A
uses
lot
a
of
lot
lime.
of lime. You know, it's interesting. This actually, when I think about this drink, I think about last time when we talked about the daiquiri, rum, seafood, the lime, seafood. This continuing on that theme. The levels are a little more different, a little sweeter here, right?
hmm
Indian food, a lot of people are going to think about like, you know, the restaurant classics, like, or the popular dishes, really, like
Hmm.
chicken tikka masala, maybe for more savvy, biryani, samosa, that stuff. Where, like, my people are from, Bengal is a land inundated. It's basically half in the water, half underwater. That's why they always have typhoons and stuff there. A lot of river fish. A lot of the foods that like my parents, those the my people cherished were these fish curries that were like sometimes more like fried fish, like in kind of like a turmeric-y mustard oil kind of thing.
hmm
Very like think mackerel, very like strong flavors of fish, you know, or
yeah,
fish where it's mild. I feel like again, fish, seafood, fried curries, not like not a rich, hearty lamb vindaloo, but a
right,
fish fry, you know, like
yeah,
mackerel, like as basted in a turmeric oil, that kind of thing. Malaysian food, you know, like that, those coconut, lemongrass kind
yep,
of curries, those things start to stick out a bit. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm thinking about fried fish Indian style. Fried
yeah.
fish Indian style, I think
That sounds
really
Wow.
good
delicious.
because it's a cuisine where it would not be uncommon to simply have lime wedges on the side as garnish. So I
Right.
swear, if they're serving lime as a garnish, eat that with that drink.
Yeah, yeah.
It's cool. It's different.
It's a good point. Um, I
Yeah.
wouldn't do oily fishes with this. This has a little more sweetness and definitely more acidic texture, nature than the daiquiri. You know, the daiquiri I toned down a lot with the amount of simple syrup and the amount of lime juice. You can play with that if you want. This is more pronounced in both of those qualities, sweetness and acidic. So I still wouldn't
Mhm.
go oily. I think white fishes and softer texture fishes is better for this. Um, no
Mhm.
reason why you can't go smoked fishes and oysters and shrimp or
Mm.
barbecue. You could totally go in that direction too.
We might have to have a little challenge here. I may have to push the envelope on you because I'll tell you, Bengali fish curries are not for everyone. It is not uncommon for people to be like, "Ooh, this is quite distinct." You know, there's a fish. I don't know if you've had it, Greer, because I feel like in the Midwest they'd have it. Have you ever had buffalo fish?
No,
Have you ever
I
had
have
that?
not.
Never heard of that.
I
It's a
haven't.
hearty one.
Is it
Not going to see it on too many fine
is it a
dining places.
funky? Is it
Yeah,
funky?
there's some weird stuff out there. Yes.
Let's see what I got
I mean,
here.
when you have to name a fish after another animal, there's probably something going on,
Yeah,
Buffalo
yes,
fish.
exactly. Bingo. If what is going on? We can't decide on the kingdom,
What? Yeah.
phylum, class, order, genus, species. We're all over the map here.
Call it a buffalo.
We're all over the map.
That's
Yeah,
not a
it's
pretty.
the
I can't
buffalo.
imagine that's a pretty fish either. If it's called buffalo,
Tiger.
it
None of
doesn't
the
look pretty.
fishes that they actually eat in Bengal are pretty. You know what I mean? Like, you
Right.
know how some people won't eat catfish because it's a bottom feeder?
Yeah.
Welcome to Bangladesh. You know what I mean?
But
Most
I mean,
people be
that's
like,
like
I'm not touching it.
I mean, this is like the human story, right? Like you make the food and the drink out of what the elements are around you. You make the best
Yeah.
of what you got to work with, you know?
Yeah.
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 If you got a
Yeah.
cow,
Pretty
you
much.
have a double cheeseburger with double cheese and double patties if you got a cow, you know?
Yeah,
And
totally.
you
Yeah,
have
it
some
is.
milk with it.
It's almost a cuisine that's simply lost in harsher times. You know, some people can argue, "Oh, well, look how we made prosciutto." Well, that has legacy. That
Yeah.
somehow the whole no refrigeration thing somehow still it's good. You know what I mean? But
Right,
Yeah.
right.
yeah, I think we're gonna get weird. I'm gonna get weird with you. We're gonna get weird when I figure out the
Yeah.
dish to have with this. You'll have
You
to
can
try
get
it and
weird.
see.
You can get weird with the Caipirinha. It's got a lot of latitude because of the nature of the cocktail, the sweetness, the acidic, the grassiness from the spirit. I mean, this is a really good cocktail.
Wow. Yeah,
Caipirinha.
I think this one's definitely more. I've seen this one way more on the menu than our previous episode, the daiquiri. I
Yep.
see Caipirinha a lot, and yeah, I've had a few in my time. I was reading it. It said that cachaça, or however you pronounce it, was just not readily available in America
Yeah.
for a long time, and
Yeah.
so. But it says it's the national drink of Brazil. So
Yeah. That's it.
interesting.
Football
I am
and Caipirinha.
I cannot wait. I have a lot of research to do for I
Nice.
Yes.
have an idea for a dish. It could fail. It could fail. I'm gonna make you eat it though. Because
Yeah.
I'm not going down alone.
I'm gonna
You're
watch you make
all
it.
coming with
I'm gonna watch you make
yeah.
it. Well, thanks,
So
guys.
Steve,
excited.
any final thoughts on the Caipirinha?
No, I just I like
No.
that little statement of latitude. This gives you a pretty broad playing field because of the
Okay.
cocktail itself, the sweetness, the acidity from the lemon or lime, and the grassy nature of the spirit. You can play around.
Okay.
Cool.
All
All
right.
right. Well, thank you, Steve, for another great episode showing us another great drink, the national drink of Brazil, the Caipirinha.
Cachaça.
Cachaça. Sounds like
I
something
wonder
Sean Connery would say. I think you're looking for the cachaça.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah, I
looking
think
for the
the,
cachaça.
it seems like almost like a skit, right? That it would
It's a
just be
Sean Connery word. It's literally like, I invented the cachaça after I finished James Bond.
cool. Well, thank you guys. We're gonna be back with another episode of Eat This Drink That. Keep checking out our YouTube. We got all these how-to cocktails. All right, see you guys soon.
Peace
guys.
out, everybody.